at this point, do you think the Eagles regret paying him this massive deal?
As I said, I don't have to think anything. Let me try to recreate this from the last block. Okay, I got my motivation.
If it's authentic, it ain't hard.
That's right.
Do it.
It is a fact that they do regret it, which is why they drafted a quarterback in the second round in this last draft. They could have moved up and grabbed CeeDee Lamb, the best receiver in the draft. They chose to hold on to the second-round pick to draft a quarterback. Howie Roseman, the GM of the Eagles. And for those who would say, well, they need depth, and Carson Wentz is injury-prone, if they were really that worried about it, would they be splitting Carson Wentz out wide and using him as a blocker? They would not. It is not. Look, the fact of the matter is, when you get paid $120 million, whatever, you are paid to elevate your team. I don't want to hear about injuries. Be better. He makes one Patrick Mahomes level play a game. He makes 3 or 4 other pretty good ones, and the rest are not good. Bad decision making, bad execution. Even when you talk about the drops, he threw late and to the wrong shoulder. Sanders almost makes a play on the ball, and you call that a drop. No. Wentz has not been a franchise quarterback. I would never, and I never do, question his toughness. He is tough as nails, that guy. There are a million examples of it. I think that can rally a team. He has a lot of great qualities you're looking for in a quarterback, which is why I thought he was the MVP of the league till he got hurt a couple years ago. He has regressed shockingly. What I saw at the end of last year when everyone was saying, no, he's doing great, was the same thing the Eagles front office saw, which is why they drafted Jalen Hurts in the second round. And let me tell you something. If Jalen Hurts was showing him anything at practice, he would be getting a lot more reps on the actual field than he's getting. If he didn't have a fumbling problem, he'd be getting more reps. By the way, how much worse could you do than one win? They have one win on the season. I acknowledge all the great things Carson Wentz does, but it does not equal up to a franchise quarterback. When you pay that guy, you don't have the same resources to surround him with the kind of team that you'd ideally like because you're relying on that guy to elevate you, and he's been unable to do so. He's not the worst quarterback in the league. Last year I said he's top 15, and I was told, no, he's top 10. I bet you most people would take top 15 now, wouldn't they? I don't have to say whether or not I think they regret it. Their behavior, the Eagles' behavior, tells me they regret it.
I completely disagree with you. First of all, I think the reason they drafted Jalen Hurts and they drafted another quarterback was not because of the inefficiency of Carson Wentz. It was because of the lack of durability on the part of Carson Wentz. In 2017, if I remember correctly, he was 11-2. He was a top MVP candidate. He goes down 13 games into the season. Nick Foles comes in, saves the day. We got all of that. The next year he comes back. He's still not completely healthy. He's 5-6 as a starter. Gets hurt again. Nick Foles comes in, saves the day. 1 year is a Super Bowl championship. The next year they go to the playoffs. They beat Chicago before they lose to New Orleans, all right? Then last year, what are you playing with? It was an infirmary, for crying out loud, with all the injuries that they had. They acquired Deshaun Jackson in the offseason. He was supposed to be your deep threat. He's gone 2 games into the season, plays a grand total of 3 games for the season. Nelson Aguilar, Alshon Jeffrey were hurt, et cetera, et cetera. He still gets them to the playoffs. Got a quarterback, a former college quarterback that's playing wide receiver. Practice squad players playing wide receiver. Now, this year, all right, last year, he still gets them to the playoffs. Then what does he do, Max? He gets hurt in the damn first quarter of the playoff game against Seattle, which they lose. And then naturally they come in this year. Now, we look at him this year, some of his decision makers, highly questionable, not impressive at all. Only completing 58% of his passes, 8 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. It's not impressive at all. But he's 27, man. He's 27 years of age.
He's in his 5th year.
I'm just saying, he's 27, meaning that guess what? If you're the Philadelphia Eagles, you paid him because of what you saw him do. You recognize his potential. And then not only that, now you've taken a step back, so we've got to get you to take a step forward. You got quarterbacks in this league in their late 30s and obviously early 40s that's producing. And because the brother's sticking up the joint for these few games, we're going to sit up there and give up on him? Hold on. He's 27 years old. He's got more than a decade in his career left. He has shown he can ball. That's why you've been so disappointed in him, Max, because you've seen him ball in the past. So all I'm saying is now you've got a situation. Goddard is out. Ertz is out. Deshaun Jackson is out. Alshon Jeffrey is out. I mean, damn. And then Sanders is out too. Everywhere you turn, there's a bunch of injuries. He could do better. There's no question about it. But you got to take all of those things into consideration, combined with his youth and the skill he's already shown us he's had. I'm not sitting there looking at the Eagles and saying, oh, damn, we regret it. I'm looking at the Eagles and saying, we got to get this right. We got to get him the requisite help. We got to coach
better.
$120 million. We got to coach better. But they had the talent, but these guys are injured right now is what I'm saying. It's not like they got to go out and acquire them. They got injured.
They could have drafted a receiver. They drafted a quarterback.
But they got injured. And in the end, what it comes down to is he's got the skills and he's got youth on his side. Durability is the biggest question mark about him. Nothing else.
They haven't blocked.
Louis, where are you on this?
Look, they don't regret it at all, and nor should they. And I'll tell you what, look, the reason why they drafted Jalen Hurts is because of this. Look, it's twofold. One, their backup quarterback, who they had on the roster at the current time, was a guy named Nate Sudfeld, who's they're probably going to lose to free agency in 2021, and they need to have a succession plan. They need to have a number 2 quarterback. So they have to draft somebody because otherwise they have nobody on the roster. And the best time to draft a good quarterback or a quarterback who you think has upside is when you don't need one. And they theoretically didn't need one. That's why they drafted Jalen Hurts. Number 2, last year, down the stretch, when he was playing with the people that he was playing with that Stephen A. just alluded to, guys like Greg Ward, and I'm not trying to take a shot at Greg Ward, but Greg Ward wasn't supposed to be their number 1 wide receiver. He lost all of his weapons last year. I know this for a fact. Doug Peterson was creating game plans week by week, day by day, and taking these guys from a skills position perspective through day 1 install, every day to get them on the same page with Carson. So what he did as far as getting them to the playoffs and executing the way they executed down the stretch was nothing short of a miracle, a flat-out miracle.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.